Before I begin this guide, I just gotta give a shout out to the entire community of people who play Deadlock. Y'all are wonderful. And I mean that truly. Because I mean, look at these usernames. You see these usernames? Yeah, this is how you know you're surrounded by quality people. You wanna know how else you know you're surrounded by quality people? Because check this. We're all playing a game that has a barefoot teenage goth girl with runny mascara who talks like a scene girl from the mid-2000s shopping at Hot Topic.
There's that robot. There's the Sandman. Mole Man!
And ain't none of y'all thirsting after her. Instead, you're all too busy drawing fan art of the greasy-haired, unwashed gargoyle with a septum piercing and a frog face to even notice the child. Other communities would not survive the allure of a teenage girl. But I gotta say, Ivy? Really? Look, I'm not saying Ivy's great, but she lacks elegance. Sure, she's fine if you're into girls that smell like brimstone and Takis, but that ain't exactly my thing. You see, while women that are monsters on the outside are always nice, sometimes you want the monsters to be on the inside. Sometimes you want someone like Lady Geist. Coming in at roughly 3 Grimbles tall, Lady Geist is the kind of evil only guys like myself and the Wonderbread guy can love. As she kills people to retain her youth, only cares about her image, and would probably snuff out an endangered species if it meant she could get an additional 3% cash back at Costco. She's got more red flags than a Chinese pride parade. But hey, I'm colorblind and she's hot. That being said though, don't let her regal air and effeminate appearance fool you. Under her boa made from pure lowland Anoa fur and her Versace spring dress, beats the heart of a raging bull that can beat down anyone dumb enough to get close. Well, at least that's what I have to tell myself to cope, as the aneurysm in my brain has made it impossible for me to hit anything accurately at range. But rather than go see a doctor about this, I instead have adapted my playstyle around the brain damage, and I'm going to show you how I do it. But first, it's upgrade time. Quick disclaimer, as I don't believe in competitive play, this guide is 100% meant to be fun. If you want professional advice, go grab a magic carpet with viscous, cooldown reduction on haze, or play Abrams and realize that while gamers know exactly where the N key is on their keyboard, they conveniently forget where the F key is when dealing with a palette swap hellboy that's trying to rearrange their colon with their trachea. Looping back to Lady Geist, when you play her, you have one goal: to make everyone around you so miserable they consider reinstalling Smite to get away from you. As the Geistermeister, you got no crowd control, ridiculously high cooldowns, and all of your skills cost health to activate. And these may seem like insurmountable obstacles at first, but overcoming these challenges are what items are for. And the item that's absolutely necessary for this build to succeed is Torment Pulse. Now I'm gonna go ahead and get ahead of everybody here and say, yes, Torment Pulse is not recommended on a single Lady Geist build aside from mine. But you know what? Do me a favor. Go ahead and hit the number 4 on your keyboard for me. You see that? That's Lady Geist's kill zone, where enemies disappear in a violent explosion of blood when they enter it. Our objective is to reinforce this zone. Everything we're going to do moving forward is done to make sure people who enter this zone leave in a body bag. If enemies don't enter this zone willingly, we bring the zone to them. And to do this, we need Torment Pulse and Mystic Slow. I get Mystic Slow may also seem like a weird choice, but walk with me for a second here. Our dear friend Lady Geist, she's slow. She's like a fat kid running a mile for PE, and everyone else has some way to get away from her. But with Mystic Slow and Torment Pulse, she can creep up behind her opponents and lock them down so they can't leave. Plus, the damage on Torment Pulse scales with Spirit Power, and come late game, you're gonna need it, because that revolver she's packing isn't gonna cut it. Look, no shade to Lady Geist, but she definitely strikes me as the type of woman who had never set foot in a gun store until she finally saw low-income black people on TV and decided it was time to buy a gun. But because she didn't know anything about guns before she went in, she listened to the FUD behind the counter and bought a Charter Arms Lavender Lady as her self-defense purse pistol, and now I gotta suffer because of it. I am not exaggerating when I say this gun is worse than your average Yamato player, and that's saying something. Like, Yamato players are overall not very good, and I've never seen one in a team fight. But you can at least trust them to pick a lane and never stop split pushing. Sure, they're like lemmings marching into the proverbial meat grinder whenever someone on the enemy team breaks away to gank them, but at least they're applying pressure. This revolver can't do anything, and its fire rate and magazine size are so bad that it actually hurts you in the laning phase because of how hard it is to farm with. Hey, you want to build items for it? Just get Mystic Shot, Soul Shredder bullets, and Point Blank. Then, if you got time later, grab Frenzy or Spirit Strike. Trust me, it's not a priority, as by the late game, if you can't kill your enemies with your initial burst, you got problems that gun's not going to fix. Valve, please, I'm begging you, please give Lady Geist a shotgun, as I can't keep living like this. Speaking of suffering, eventually you're going to reach a point where, much like a masochist who got a belt sander for Christmas, you're going to be doing more damage to yourself than what those around you can do. When this happens, buy Spirit Steel until you can afford Leech. Then, to really break the enemy's morale and guarantee you that you win the trades, buy Healbane. Finally, Life Strike exists to remind Kelvin players that you're not locked in the snow globe with them, they're locked in it with you. At this point I realize that some of my more observant viewers may have noticed I explicitly selected items that don't have activations. And that's because I'm a low intelligence goblin with no impulse control. As such, I'm incapable of planning or considering the long-term effects of my actions. Yes, I had breakfast this morning, and no, I cannot imagine how I'd feel without it. Plus, items with activation effects give less raw buffs than just standard items, and I like to see the funny number go up. So how are you going to tell me Ethereal Shift is a good item when it gives me 0 stat bonuses? Exactly, you can't justify that. So tell you what, only buy items that make the numbers go up, and you're never going to lose. Moving on, let's talk skills. Specifically, Essence Bomb. Now some of you may not know this, but from 1984 to 1998, Lady Geist was the star player for a little-known basketball team called the Chicago Bulls. Her greatest claim to fame was in 1989, where against the Cleveland Cavaliers, she sunk a buzzer beater that would demoralize the Ohio-based team so hard they've never recovered since. Those three-pointer skills, by the way, she brings them to New York City. If you have a line of sight on something, you can hit it with an Essence Bomb. Even if you don't, the radius on that stupid skill is so wide, you're going to hit it behind a wall anyway. I don't want you to even touch Malice more than once until you've completely unlocked Spirit Bomb. Trust me, it's not that good, you're not going to use it. Yes, it's fine to harass the Talon and the Vindicta when they go up in the air, but we're not doing that right now. We are focusing on the burst. Then, for our last two skills, I want you to remember something. We are the apex ambush predator of Deadlock. Our life drain is not a defensive skill. We're not going to use it to heal. We're going to use it to stack damage when we jump people. Don't even think about it as a life regeneration skill. Instead, think of it as a second torment pulse that's stacking that sweet damage after we come off the zip line to drop on our unsuspecting victims. Plus, if you get it right before the enemy carry notices, they're silenced for 4 seconds, which, if you're doing this right, is plenty of time to end the fight. Finally, we got our panic button, Soul Exchange. Let me ask you, if you see a wounded baby bird in the woods, is your first thought, oh man, this baby bird's gonna pull out a gun and shoot me in the face? No, who thinks like that? That's what we want to do with Lady Geist. We want every assassin on the map to constantly see us at half health so that they come and try to kill us. Because between you and me, carries are stupid. When they finally show up to take us out, that's when we strike. Sure, better players are going to realize that you got no range on this skill and they're going to try to zone you. But that's what corners are for. Like I said, carry players are dumb, that's why they play carry. The moment you leave their line of sight, they're going to come sprinting around a corner to pursue you. When that happens, simply press 4, wait around the corner, and roll your face on the keyboard to delete.
Hello, motherfucker.
There. Problem solved. Now, before I end this review, I gotta warn you guys. Lady Geist is not for players that crack under pressure. That's what Infernus and Kelvin are for. You gotta have the suicidal tendency to just face dive the enemy team with the same reckless abandon as a hungry 18th century French soldier in a prenatal unit. You need to be willing to set your mouse sensitivity as high as it will go and just mash the keys on your keyboard as hard as you can and hope for the best. You may not think that takes skill, but trust me, there's enough McGinnis players out there cowering behind their walls for me to know that not everyone else is cut out to be the Geister. Finally, remember to have fun out there. I see way too many games ruined due to competitive players trying to turn a hobby into a profit. Just enjoy it, and don't trash talk the enemy team just because they're running the flavor of the week character. In fact, do as Bill and Ted would say, and be excellent to each other. Now, check this sweet montage as I fade out, and I'll see you next time.
Jet plane. When I'm flying through the air, I let my feet hang. When I take off from the ground, everybody stand around and stop and stand because it's sweet, man. Like a helium balloon, like a spaceship. Me and my Yowie is the type to play with. Then I left the ground by turn the hoop now, turn around and they heard me say, oh my God, homeboy, you just got dumped on. Oh my good Lord, you just got your bell rung.
I only realized while editing this video that I didn't create an outro or anything like that. So I'm just gonna, go on a rant here and talk about the whole Ivy thing. So I can appreciate people who are attracted to Ivy because when I was a kid and I was watching Aliens, the one with Sigourney Weaver, that scene where the xenomorph queen rips off her ovipositor, that woke something in me. And I don't think I've ever been the same since. Now I'm gonna let you go ahead and dwell on that, and I'll see you for the next video. Catch y'all later.